Wake up, wake up, wake up,
That's
wake
what
up,
I was
wake up, wake up,
doing.
wake up, wake up, wake up.
I had to slap myself.
Were you asleep? Well, we're gonna wake you wide up right now. We're gonna wake you. So you're gonna be eyes open when you watch this next interview.
That is so true, because
Yes.
this morning we've been learning all about non-surgical treatments for both athletes and non-athletes at UR Sports Medicine, like dry needling and acupuncture. There's a difference.
I know. And, Ashley Dorsbacher is there this morning, and she is learning all about this. Not only is she learning about it, she's actually having it done. You had some dry needling done earlier. That got everyone in the studio like, you could hear a pin drop, no pun intended. Now what's next?
No pun intended with a pin. No, I had never heard of dry needling before, and it was really cool to see. It was super quick, didn't hurt me at all. But there's a difference between dry needling and acupuncture. And joining us now to talk about that is Dan Dominguez, and you are a licensed acupuncturist.
Correct.
So talk a little bit when everybody just saw the dry needling. What's the difference between acupuncture and dry needling?
So one of the things is, in order to do acupuncture in New York State, you have to be licensed, and that requires 4,500 hours of didactic and clinical work, including a master's degree. A difference between the two is dry needling treats your elbow or your neck. Acupuncture treats your whole body. So there's the root, right? The root is what causes your neck pain. That could be stress. That could be depression. That could be
just... Could be your job. Not that I'm saying mine does it. But
it could be your job, right? But acupuncture gets down to the root of why it is that you have pain, or digestive issues, or stress or anxiety. And it treats it from that end, as well as treating the pain that you're having. So dry needling, I think, is a component of acupuncture, but done at a very specific area. While acupuncture is done both locally, right, in your shoulder, but I can also treat your shoulder from your hand. And just having a deeper understanding of what it is that the needles do is important in making a distinction between the two.
And you brought up the needles. Oh, I just spilled a little bit of them there, right? They're teeny little. I have a couple of help, but these are what you do. This is what you use.
So this is the needle that you saw in the last segment is a Japanese style needle. This is a traditional Chinese style needle. We use both that style as well as this style when treating people, depending on people who have sensitivity to needles or what it is that I'm trying to accomplish. When I'm treating pain, I typically use a needle like this. I find it to be very comfortable for patients. If I'm treating stress and anxiety, I'll use Sarin needles, like the ones that Dr. Rizzoni used. So we have a wide variety of different treatment styles and needles that we'll use.
And there's a lot inside your magic cabinet.
So this
here.
is where the magic happens, right? So in here we have different sizes, different lengths. We have ear needles. We have needles that I'll use on the face. We have Chinese herbs that I'll use on the skin for different issues, muscle, tendon, inflammation, pain. So those are all incorporated into treatment as well. So it's not just put a needle in, take it out. We do body work. We do Chinese cupping, similar to what Michael Phelps had done in the Olympics. We use a tool called a gua, which is similar to the Graston technique in chiropractic, where we're breaking up muscle adhesions with a tool. So the nice thing about acupuncture is it's just not a needle. It's treating the body from a whole and using all the tools at my disposal to get someone better.
And we were talking about, just because this is sports medicine, it's not just for athletes. You see people, all kinds of people with different things, what treatments and different things. If somebody's at home and they're thinking, oh gosh, I've had this aching or I've had this for a while, what would you say to them?
I'd say put down the bottle of aspirin and come see me. I treat chronic pain is probably the biggest part of my clinic here. A lot of low back pain, a lot of neck pain, arthritis. I treat a lot of athletes. I've had the opportunity to treat Buffalo Bills, Olympic athletes, and junior Olympians, as well as collegiate athletes around Rochester. But the biggest part of my clinic is done treating people age, probably the youngest I've treated is 13, the oldest patient I have right now is 88. So
any age can do it.
Anywhere and in between. That's right.
So we're going to be trying some acupuncture and some stim, right?
Yes, we're going to do electric stim as well.
And see my muscle jump. So if you thought that the needle in my arm got everybody quiet, wait till you see my muscle move. It's going to be really cool. We're going to do that coming up at 8:05. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Huh.
Okay. You got our attention.
Have fun with
Thank
that,
you, Ashley. Ooh, okay. She's brave.
Acupuncture has been practiced for centuries and is becoming more widely accepted in mainstream medical care.
I feel like I've been hearing more and more about it. Like more people are saying this was my trick to feeling better. So this morning, Ashley Dorsbacher is at Strong West, learning how doctors and physicians at UR Sports Medicine use this discipline. Ashley?
Hey, good morning. I've got my sleeve rolled up, my hair pulled back. We are going to show some acupuncture here. But first, Dan Dominguez again is joining us. And Dan, Qi. What is Qi? What are some of the perceptions people have when they hear acupuncture, and what do people tell you and talk to you about?
So I think one of the biggest misconceptions that people have surrounding Qi is that it's actually energy. When the classical Chinese texts were being translated into English, a mistranslation came out talking about what Qi is, and it was translated as Qi. But what Qi actually is oxygen. So if you think of blood, you think of oxygenation of that blood, right? Red and white blood cells circulating through our body. And then channels and meridians, these invisible lines of energy that run through the body. That's not exactly what acupuncture is. When you put a needle into the body, what you're doing is increasing blood flow. So in particularly oxygenated blood. So it's real physical medicine. It's not this woo-woo voodoo type of thing, right? Where I stick pins in you and you feel better. It's rooted in real physical medicine. So I think that is an important thing to touch on, that acupuncture has a place in medicine. And that's why the University of Rochester decided to hire me, because they felt the need to add this to their repertoire of different ways to attack an injury, from if people don't want surgery or they're tired of taking pain medication, they have a place to come and get pain relief and heal. So that's an important thing that I wanted to talk about.
It's all under the same umbrella of University of Rochester Medicine, and you are offering different things in the doctors. You said you talk with doctors every day, and your job is to convince them too still, and tell patients, hey, let's do this, but then let's go to physical therapy or different things. So you guys all work together.
And that's I think a very unique thing in this setting is that I can do acupuncture and send someone across the hall to have physical therapy. Or if I evaluate you and think that maybe there's a tear in your shoulder, we've got doctors right on the premises here, so I can say, okay, why don't you schedule with them? Dr. Rizzoni can check you out and get an MRI if you need it. So that's a unique part of my practice that I don't think is offered anywhere else in the city. But why don't we?
I was going to say, you want to show everybody what you do?
So what we're going to do is we're going to do what's called a motor point. A motor point is where the nerve innervates the muscle. If you're having an issue with, let's say, shoulder impingement, which is very common. I treat a lot of CrossFit athletes, and this is a very common injury for them to have. We're going to do your anterior deltoid. So when I talk acupuncture, I talk more in physical terms and in anatomical structure. So we're going to needle your motor point, and then we're going to put some electric stim on it, and you're going to see the muscle jump and reset. So if you have tightness or weakness in this muscle, we can actually put a needle in and cause that to reset.
This is the cool part, guys. Watch.
This is where we do stim on the actual muscle itself, and you actually see it jumping there. So we'll run that for about 15 to 30 seconds. And it usually feels like a tapping sensation or a thud on your skin. So probably about 70% of my patients get E-stim done. So we'll do that. Once that's done, I'll retain needles for about 20 to 30 minutes. If we're treating multiple areas of the body, we can do the other shoulder. For the shoulder, sometimes I'll treat the hip. That's what differentiates dry needling from acupuncture, is that I do orthopedic style acupuncture. So very similar techniques locally. But if someone has neck pain, I can treat the neck, and then I'll put needles in the ankle or the hand, and those all further the treatment. Or if they have stress, then we attack the stress, right? Because you can have neck pain, but if you just keep treating the neck and the underlying cause is stress, you're never going to fix it, because they're always going to be walking around like this.
Yeah. And if you're struggling with anything, the number 275-5321 to call and set something up. We're going to talk with Dan about, he's got a really interesting backstory and how he got into this and involved. So we're going to talk more about that coming up here in a little bit, you guys. Wasn't that cool?
Yeah, it looked relaxing.
Check that out.
Yeah, you didn't
It
look
is.
like you
He
were
says
scared at
sometimes
all.
people will, get calm and fall asleep too while they're doing this. So
Yes,
your body is the best when you're resting to heal.
We'll be right over, Ashley. I will. I'll hop in the car.
I've been wanting to try it.
Good stuff, Marty.
Yeah.
Warmer, you can relax those shoulders and then realize how much pain you still have.
But hopefully
shoveling.
not after, talking with Ashley.
Or maybe hearing what Ashley has to say, then you decide, maybe that is what I need. We've been talking about non-surgical options for pain this morning, specifically acupuncture. And what is this? Dry needling, which I'd never heard before.
Yeah. Ashley Dorsbacher has been at Strong West in Brockport telling us all about it. She's tried the dry needling and now she's getting ready to do some acupuncture, right?
Yeah, we did the dry needling. We did the acupuncture. We did the little stim. You got to see my muscle move a little bit there. It's all different ways of treatment. And Dan Dominguez, you are a licensed acupuncturist.
Yes.
And we've been talking about all the different ways. But I love how you got involved in this. If you don't mind sharing a little bit with us about how you got involved to do this.
Absolutely. So, I kind of have a unique backstory in that I was a former athlete. I played college football in Michigan. And during my senior year, I broke my leg. And I was having a lot of complications. I had a couple surgeries. I was going through physical therapy. I was having a real hard time with pain, inflammation. Things just weren't coming along like I had hoped. My uncle, his name's Rick Warren, is an acupuncturist here in Rochester as well. We were back home in my hometown of Columbus for Thanksgiving, and he was like, Dan, I'm going to treat you. And he treated me. It was the first time in 3 or 4 months that I didn't have pain in my leg. And he actually taught me how to needle myself. Don't tell anyone.
As everybody's watching us now.
But he taught me how to do it, and he sent me back up to school with a box of needles, and I would call him on the phone. I would say, hey, where do I put this? How do I do this? And he would walk me through it. And this isn't something I do with patients now, but it was because I was family, and he wanted me to get better.
Yeah.
So I would treat myself, and I healed tremendously from my break, and it inspired me to become an acupuncturist. I was on a track to be a strength conditioning coach. My background is in exercise physiology. And I shifted and graduated, moved out here to New York, and went to Finger Lakes School of Acupuncture and Oriental Medicine in Seneca Falls, and specialized in orthopedics. I wanted to treat exactly the people that helped like I did.
Yeah.
And so I had a unique opportunity to go to school there, but train with Rick and my aunt Laura at Balance Acupuncture, and it was a very big part of what I ended up becoming because of their expertise and their knowledge that they shared with me. So I get the opportunity to treat a lot of athletes around here, and I love giving back. I work marathons, Flower City Marathon. I work local CrossFit events to treat and show people that acupuncture works great immediately to give you relief.
I was just going to say, you said when you treat patients and you see them smile and you see them move after a couple of sessions with you, it's that immediate relief. And you love that, helping people.
That gives you goosebumps every
Yeah.
time it happens. You have someone walk in with a migraine and they walk out telling jokes and laughing, or someone that walks in crying with back pain and they get off the table without struggling. That's where the power is in this medicine, and U of R brought me on because they believe in it, and they wanted to see their medicine grow and have another tool to help patients.
And this is something insurance is covering now more and more, and it's becoming more of an accepted thing, right?
Absolutely. So a typical insurance plan in New York will cover 50% 10 visits a year. So and it's growing each year. I think it's increasing and changing a little bit. But acupuncture is covered by insurance. It's safe, it's effective, and it's something that if you're struggling with pain, if you're struggling with menstrual issues, GI issues, headaches, there's a place for you in acupuncture. Here we specialize in orthopedics, so I'm the pain guy. But, there are a lot of people in the city that can help with fertility or different issues that you have going on internally. Chinese herbs are another great way to incorporate that.
Yeah, so. And you can give them a call at 275-5321, and you can come see Dan and check out what it's all about. So lots to do here, guys.
All right, Ashley, thank you.